All right, and we are live. Let us see if YouTube will grace us with its
Grace
nice,
with the
beautiful,
YouTube juju.
perfect servers. Are we live? YouTube?
I think so.
All right.
There it is.
They don't pay me
Oh.
enough to think, so no, you're gonna have to figure it out yourself.
Apparently.
What?
Welcome everyone to another episode of Titan's Table. I hope that you are all doing good. Tonight we are going to be discussing the end of Paper Magic the Gathering. Possibly. We're going to discuss the era of the champions. We're going to be discussing some of the anthology and pioneer and historic and all of these wonderful, fantastic things. So welcome
Pioneer, you
everyone.
say.
So before we get to the topics, let us introduce everyone that is here. Asfara, who are you?
I am a jackwad that used to own a game store. Apparently, no longer a TO because Wizards is nuking that. And you're overall a nice guy who likes to play Magic Commander and hook people up with good deals in their store.
Nice. Grim.
I am the editor for Dark Titan Enterprises and Very Dark, and an avid Magic the Gathering player. So
Are we live on your ends, everyone? Because
Yeah.
in my sub
Yep,
feed,
we're live.
it's not popping up that we. Oh, okay, never mind. There we go. Go ahead, Grim. Feel free.
hell YouTube. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's it. I am the editor for Dark Titan Enterprises, and soon to be, I don't know, maybe doing other stuff. Who knows?
Wow, how descriptive, Eric.
I know.
Who am I?
are
Well,
you?
I suppose you could say I'm a content creator of sorts. I'll say that my current YouTube channel is dead, not undying. But it used to be undying. But the reason
Undying,
is
dead.
you're right.
Right.
Now it's just undead, but dead. So yeah, I
It's
know.
it's undead.
It's undead, dead. Yeah, whatever. Anyhow, so I don't know if you. I guess I might as well just say it here. I mean, it's kind of awkward now, but I guess I'll be making content for you guys on a sub channel here in the future.
Yeah.
Yes.
I won't really dive too hard in it, but I'll be not portraying myself on there, so it'll be fun. I'll just leave it at that. Grim will be getting the hype video, if you will. Hopefully tomorrow. I had a issue with it, or else it would have already been up. But I just am a Magic enthusiast, if you will, and definitely video games as well, which is what I'm very excited to get back into. But obviously that is not why I am here this evening. We're here to talk about Magic, but that's really it with me. Not too fancy.
Hey,
Awesome.
I'm dying. I bet I can guess your least favorite Magic card.
Oh yeah, let's take a stab. We already know. Come on,
Malera.
it's not good.
I bet I can guess your least favorite Magic card is Farah.
Anything
Shit.
with Jit in it?
Yeah.
Jet.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
anything not blue.
True.
I played Jet in his store once, and he threw me out.
I did not. You a liar. I may have had a conniption over it, but I did not throw you out.
Fair enough.
Sure, you
And
did throw me out. There
Cinder,
you go.
who are you?
I am Cinder Shadow of Cinder Shadow Gaming. I do video games, play lots of Magic, and I'm a very frustrated standard player at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seem to be one of the many.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think you're special, Cinder?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Well, maybe
Apparently, I'm the only one allowed to be frustrated.
maybe in his mind he's the leader of the pack. Okay,
Yeah.
let him be.
Yeah, all the packs behind his head. That's about it.
Damn.
Coming
Oh
in
my
hot.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, we're taking some shots tonight. All right.
Shot fired. Don't worry, he'll catch me later. Probably
I'll
just
say it's gonna be that kind of evening. Yes.
It
Apparently.
will indeed. So I guess I'll start off by saying the reason why we have it written, is it the end of Paper Magic, is not because we really think Paper Magic is going to die. Paper Magic is definitely not going anywhere. It makes Hasbro a ton of money, but they've basically killing the tournament system that existed in stores called the DCI, and they're moving towards integrating it with what they call Wizards accounts, which, AKA, by the way, your Arena account is a Wizards account. So It's like a
So with
move.
your TO account.
Yep, it's a move to integrate in a way, paper and arena, which is not good in I think most of our opinions about. Is not good for the LGS.
Yeah.
So
No.
why don't we
Really,
start with our
really quickly before we get into the topic, because I see someone had asked in chat, how long have all of you been playing Magic? Why don't we just go down the list really quickly, because I do think that maybe is an important point of context. If you guys agree, Asfara.
All right, me. I mean, I've been playing a short time. I think I started in like September of '93 on white and black cards that were brought back from Origins, and then later that year, the guy finally got the order in for the store that was D&D Hangout Club that turned into a Magic the Gathering store. So yeah, I've been playing the game a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
right.
That's great.
it's a long time.
Yeah.
So
great.
not long at
Actually,
all. That's why I heard. I heard he's a noob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to play against Alcazar anymore.
It's true.
It's something about this thing called Corona. I guess my deck gave it to them.
You're what?
You,
NSFW.
Jack.
Oh boy. Grim, how long have you been playing?
Holy hell, that's a face.
So the first pack I ever bought was in 1997. It was a pack of Visions. I actually worked at EB Games, and yes, that was back when EB Games was in the United States before GameStop bought it out and changed them all to GameStops. But
I always
yeah,
wondered what happened to that store.
yeah, it still exists in other countries as EB Games, but
Yep.
not in the United States anymore.
Correct.
It's all GameStop now. But anyway, I bought my first pack of Visions from there, and when I went back to grad school in around 2000, 2001, I started playing competitively, and I won. That's where I won my first organized event, playing Mono Red Goblins, playing Legacy. Yeah, it was a Legacy match. I think it was like 200 people in that event. But yeah, so that was around 2000. So again, yeah, my first pack I bought in '97, and then my first like competitive event that I won was 2001.
Nice. Undying.
I started playing originally around it was '97. Tempest was the newest set at the time, and I was in up until sometime shortly after Urza's block, and then I was kind of intermittent here and there, and then more full steam once I think it was Core 13 just came out was when I've been pretty much all in since then.
Awesome.
A newbie.
Yeah, I know. Damn it. Need to reevaluate my life.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And
didn't mean
Cinder,
it like
how
that.
long have you been playing Magic?
I've been in and out of the game since '93, '94.
Damn.
I left for a while, pretty much when Relentless Assault took over the Type 2 days, and I just said, forget it. And because they went to sets every 3 months, I was like, you know what, I got to take a break from this. I don't have the money for this as a teenager at the time. And yeah, then I came back just before Zendikar, got to play around with Tarkir, Origins, and everything like that. So.
Nice. Awesome. All right. So, Grim, why don't we get back into the topic that you wanted to start with?
You forgot our sixth member. Oh my God.
Well, unfortunately, King's
I'm
Knight's...
alive.
Oh, now your microphone is unmuted.
Oh,
Yeah,
There
no,
we
I've
go.
been muting myself and unmuting myself.
Oh, fair
Oh, right.
enough. King,
playing
how
with
long
his
have
mic.
you been in the Magic the Gathering scene?
I have been playing since the onset of beta, which would be what, 94?
Right?
I think
93.
94, early 94, wasn't it?
93.
Yeah, late.
Yeah.
It was late 93, wasn't it?
December 93.
Yeah, that's
October,
when I've been
December.
playing.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I've been playing with them, playing
Almost-
since beta, about as long as Asfera. You were playing just a little bit longer than I.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been playing since then. Stopped right around Nemesis. Took a break and came back in Innistrad. Then took a break right at the start of Tarkir, and then came back at the very end of at the very beginning of Amonkhet.
Amonkhet was very good. I really liked Amonkhet. I really
It
liked
was okay.
Amonkhet and Kaladesh. I know a lot of people
Kaladesh was
didn't
good.
like those sets. I did.
Kaladesh was good, but Amonkhet was. I had a lot of issues with Amonkhet, mostly in regards to both the set mostly the set design or story design, as well as a big thing was with product quality during that time. It just was terrible.
The
Fair
card
enough.
spending and all that.
Well, it ruins the game for you. You really can't enjoy a game when your cards are destroyed and you're trying to play something and you can't even play the cards you want to play with.
Fair enough.
That's true.
Fair enough.
Ruins the
All
story.
right, so the DCI being gone, right, Vera? That's what we want to.
Yeah,
Start
that's
with?
what we can kick off with if you guys
So
want.
I guess we'll start with Esfera, because you just recently were working as a TO. So, where do you think this leads us? The end of the DCI?
I think that this just adds one more step that the players have already been reluctant enough to do, that it's just going to push it further and further and further so that there's no organized play anymore. People are going to say, well, organized play still exists. You can get a Wizards account and do this, that, and the other and jump through hoops. And when you're finally done, maybe you'll have a golf club. The truth of the matter is, I mean, I see this as a definitive nail in the LGS support from the DCI. Because it was already hard enough to get somebody to wait 2 seconds at a computer to type a card. I would punch the number in my computer and get their name and hand it to them, and I would find 90% of them that night on the floor in the store because people don't want to register them.
Right.
Now they're being forced to go online and register, and I think this is what it is. Wizards wants to force people to register.
Yeah.
And by forcing people to go online and register to be able to play in an event, it's just one more hoop. But like, people are already lazy enough as is. They just want to come sit down, play a game, and go home for the night. Forget about the real world.
I mean, yeah.
And right now, with all the LGSs being on life support and getting absolutely no help from Wizards, I think this is just another definitive stab in the gut.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that there's a lot to this, and it's towards the reliance that they have on Arena now, because, as they said, an Arena account is a Wizards account. So they're just saying, hey, everyone who has an Arena account, you don't need to do anything else, or anyone who registers with Wizards to play in paper events, they're saying like, hey, you have an Arena account. Arena, giving out Arena accounts and integrating paper into Arena right now is not good for the LGS, because they're not giving LGSs any benefit off of Arena.
Right.
Like, I know that doing the organized play and giving out codes while we're in a quarantine and can't go to stores and play, yes, it's keeping a store in the eye of the players, like, so that players don't forget that store exists. But but in the end, what does it really do? It's like, if those players like, holy shit, like, this is way too easy to play. This is a lot easier to play. Like, I'm in some stores' Facebook groups, and look, a moderator for a local store literally said in the group, hey, everyone, I wish I could spend $100 and get all the rares and mythics in Paper Magic like I can in Arena. Hell with Paper Magic. I'm just going to play Arena. In the store's Facebook group. And I called the guy out on that. I couldn't believe that he said that. A moderator for an actual LGS.
Right.
I just thought that was...
Even people that are, moderators for stores and may be affiliated directly with stores, they don't even care. That's a big problem. I mean, that's kind of just disrespectful.
And I love Arena. Don't get me wrong. I know I hate the power creep, and we're going to talk about that, but I like playing Arena because it's convenient, and I couldn't stand statements like that. Anyways.
Arena's Yu-Gi-Oh! The Gathering.
It does.
Well,
It gets rid of the gathering.
Arena pulls the whole side of the whole. Arena pulls the whole social aspect of Magic the Gathering out of Magic the Gathering, which is what it was originally designed.
Right.
Yeah.
It pulls the gathering out of the gathering.
Yeah, exactly.
They
King,
really
why
don't
you,
care. They just want to make money, that's all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what
It's
they
true.
look at is how much money can they make, how much money they make this quarter, and
product.
even though Mark Rosewater told TCC that paper magic is their top selling product, it doesn't matter if it turns out that digital turns out to be a higher seller for them. Hasbro's going to cut that. They're going to drop that axe right away.
Right.
They're still making money off paper, so.
Oh yeah, they're
Paper
making a
makes
ton of
definitely.
money.
considerably more than.
Oh yeah, it's
Paper
way
makes
more.
considerably more, but there's less overhead involved, so they ideally want to invert those numbers. So eventually they can drop the hammer or sell the paper IP off to some other printer, so that they can just wash their hands of it.
Right.
Yeah, and just
Well,
take it. They can just build off of that. They can build Arena off of it anyway.
Well, but weren't they making a huge percentage of their income off of MTGO, and now they want to flip whatever
No.
they were making off of
No.
MTGO?
They were making good money off of MTGO up until they allowed bots and stores to sell their own product in there.
But
Then
bots
they
and stores have been since 90, within the first year of MTGO going live, they had bots and everything, and the only people that really make money on that are the ticket resellers.
Right.
yeah, the ticket resellers make a killing off of MTGO. They used to make a really good amount of money until Arena dropped, and then MTGO's market, that floor just dropped out from underneath of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the DCI leaving, it really is a point where they've come up with this companion app, and I think that's part of the future. They want this app to be part of the future. However, they're running into so many snags making that thing work.
Yeah.
That it should have been out already, out of beta testing.
Should have been out like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we see here soon a full launch of that with the DCI leaving.
Yeah, when it comes down to the DCI leaving and it closing out, it's sad to see it go, especially considering what it was and what it meant. However, DCI is an old system. It's an old system. It's all, on top of it being an old system, it's actually an integral part of the old tournament recording system, WER, which is something that they're moving away from completely because they want to utilize this new app as their primary tournament processing system.
Right.
And I can understand why they want to move from that. They want to move into a new system that has new clients in there. Everyone's fresh, starts fresh for them, and it's a better system for them in the long run.
Yeah,
Right.
but the DCI has been tanking for a few years. The number of people signing up, the number of people wanting to play sanctioned events. I mean, hell, my store has been around since 2010-ish, 2011, and in all of that time frame, I've saw it steady increase until like 2015, 2016, and then as they started going more and more social political, the number of people wanting to play an event started dipping and dipping and dipping. And lately, I swear there's like 10% of the events going on that there were in the past.
Right.
So from what I see online, looking at numbers, I don't see any specific numbers about what MTGO made, anything like that. But the interesting thing I do see about numbers is that they're saying that the combined Arena and paper sales will outpace Hearthstone, because it says Activision Blizzard made around 600 million, has been making around 600 million a year in Hearthstone, 600 million to $1 billion, and like most articles that I'm seeing are saying that look, between MTG Arena and the paper game, they're gonna end up making more than that, because before Arena was
doing 2.2 billion a year.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Magic Paper was doing 2.2 billion a year, so
That's crazy.
So the
Nuts.
but the total profit from Hasbro, I don't know about all like specifically, but the total profit by Hasbro in revenue last year was 2.45 billion total. So that can't all be from Magic.
no.
So, that means there's no way that,
Bro, yeah. You'd be surprised. Think about everything other IP they own, and was that including the movies too?
That's dropping movies as well as Transformers in there.
That could not include any of the movies.
It does. It says Hasbro banked 2.45 billion in net revenue last year.
Okay.
In 2019.
Did you look at their movie division, which is separate, to see what that banked?
It says much in part due to the MTG digital expansion. So I'm sure that a lot of that is Magic, but it says this also includes profits from Transformers, Play-Doh, Nerf, My Little Pony, and all cinematic properties.
Right.
It is estimated that MTG brought in about 500 million that year.
That's really low. That is absolutely absurdly low.
That
I
is
don't
really
believe
low.
that
Them.
I don't believe that number. I believe that number, because don't forget, when they factor in Magic the Gathering, they're obscuring the numbers of how much money Magic is actually bringing their company in as a whole right now.
Right.
Because when you take a look at their P&L reports at the end of the year, they factor all of the gaming division, including Monopoly and anything board gaming, into one division, and that was like 60% last year's P&L.
Right.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, but these numbers are straight from their public, from what they are basically
The PR department.
This is just their public relations version. This isn't their official one. This doesn't match the ones that I get for actual ownership.
Yeah, the stockholder reports are completely different than the PR that everybody else sees.
Right.
Yeah, this is definitely not. I'm not looking at stock reports.
And when you get the stockholder ones, you actually are told you can't share that publicly either.
Right.
Could be. But I guess like
No, you're
part
told that. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
Like when I got mine, it was told you can't share it.
Did they make you sign an NDA?
Yeah, in order for you to receive them, you have to sign an NDA.
All right, I understand. Yeah, it makes sense. I guess the important part of this topic is like, not that paper is going to end, but that the tournament structure that exists in the LGS, which supports the LGS as a whole, like Friday Night Magic, like the PPTQs, which they never replaced, just pre-releases, stuff like that. It's like they're I just want to say it's like they're trying to get rid of all that or regionalize it.
I think this kills it for them.
All right. Go ahead.
I think it kills it, to be honest with you.
Totally gone, like no more promos or.
I mean, like so the promos and everything are all tied into your metrics, and your metrics are tied into the number of people playing in your store, number of unique DCIs, number of this, number of that. It's like a bunch of different things all tallying up. Number of total seats you've sold in a season. If you lose half of your clientele, the number of promos you lose are like 60%, 70%.
That's one thing I do have to say with this DCI thing ending. I mean, granted, it takes a lot of stress off the stores that have to try to wrap new clients in with DCI numbers and stuff. And now they're going to Arena and stuff. All they have to do is walk in there and provide them their email address to log in or to be registered for an event. But how does that change it for the stores too? Granted, it's less stress, but now you have the stress of having to record every single person that comes in there's email address.
Right.
It's interesting to see what's going to happen.
True, yeah, you get everyone's email address, but another thing, like, it also adds more, and it also makes it so people don't have to use their real names anymore. I don't know if like how much that really has to do with it, but you can walk in and not have to use your real names anymore. So there's that, and that's something I think Wizards. I think that's something that Wizards has been fighting for a while, is people not having to use their real names in tournaments.
Right.
Well, people not being able to use that, they can use like the fake names to do the events and stuff. How does this change the band list, of players? Like how
the only thing this changes is they get a different set of controls from going from a number to an email. It's the same thing. Now they get to tie your name directly to your online accounts, which is the norm with everything else in the gaming space right now.
It makes me want to make an email address that's like 127 digits long just to play in an event to mess with everybody.
Right.
But it doesn't stop. Like, one person can have an email here, you can have another email there. Like, it's not going. You're still going to have the same thing where people have multiple DCIs. You're just going to have people with multiple emails.
They're probably going to do the same. They're probably going to do the exact same thing they did with Arena. They're going to make a Wizards account. It's going to assign you automatically and say pick a username. The username is going to then give you a hashtag at the end that anybody can copy, because I just like, hey, I want to be VAR tonight. I'm going to go make a VAR Dark account on Magic Arena and then get a completely different hashtag number at the end. But it doesn't matter because the first half is all people read. Nobody ever reads the rest.
Vera,
Like-
can you check the volume?
I already did on my end. Everything sounds perfectly fine.
Yeah, I just put the volume up on mine. It's fine.
Yeah, everything seems fine on our end.
Alright.
Not sure. Anyway, continue.
Yeah,
I mean, I just look at this as they're trying to.
Oh.
You're getting a free arena account. You by the way, you could use arena accounts to do this. So it's like, so you're tying this all into arena now. You're forcing players into arena. That
Yep, right.
does not look good for the LGS at all.
Well, of course they are. That's where they want to try to move a lot of their money.
My first thought when Grim brought this up to me and I was reading through it all, I was like, they're trying to crush the, now that all the stores are locked down on SARS whatever, they're literally kicking everybody to the curb and saying, well, we've stopped supporting your LGS. Here, have some free mystery boosters. By the way, do whatever you want with them. Sell them. We don't care. Before,
Right.
when they gave you free product, it was you're not allowed to sell it. You're allowed to give it away and do odds and ends. Now it's, hey, do whatever you want with it. That is not the same. This is not sounding right to me. It's
I
very-
think also another reason why they're moving away from the DCI and making an email is so they can record when you've played in a store and they can send you a free style every once in a while for playing in a store. And I got to say, the styles for arena, in most cases, 99% of the cases, I don't care about them.
I'll bet you money that they want you to make a Wizards account that's tied easily into an Arena account, is that they could send you, when you play in a store, a direct coupon saying, thank you for playing at your local LGS. Here's a free draft on Magic Arena for participating at your LGS. And then you get somebody in on a free draft on Arena, which, by the way, you could use your account to log in on. So you use this account, you log in into your Arena, there's your free code, you go play in a free thing, and it's just one easier step for them to funnel people into Arena.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, it lets them look at the metrics of what's going on when they have more control of what they're seeing in the store compared to what they see online.
Right.
it's more control, but it's moving players in the wrong direction. And you want to push arena, okay, but you need to find a way to make it worth it for stores. You need to find some system of compensation for stores, like, let's say in digital comics, you when you buy a digital comic, you can use a code, you do it through your local comic shop, and they get a percentage of the sale because they're the ones that gave you the code, they're the ones that kind of sold the comic and got you to pick it up, that kind of when you went into shop, they're the ones that that sold you. So I'm not sure how a system like that would work, but something like that where they're including the stores in arena,
Right.
that would help keep stores going. But doesn't look like they're just offering stores codes that make them no money.
Exactly.
Hey, everyone that has an LGS, here's a code. Get all you guys to play F&M on arena. You can they at least did change the rule that you can charge money to play on arena. You can charge to play arena tournaments. Originally, they were telling LGSs you can't run tournaments on arena and charge an entrance, and they dropped that with the whole quarantine stuff. But it still is not really enough.
While you bring that up there, Grim, MTG Melee.com is where a lot of places are now doing these tournaments. That was announced when they did the new Red Bull announcement for 2020. A lot of stores are doing tournaments on there, and they're also doing free tournaments where you can win store credit, but you don't have to be in their local area. So I don't know how that works, but at the same time, it's something to know. If you're looking for a tournament for Magic the Gathering, MTGmelee.com is the new place to go for that.
Yeah, I saw some posts on Facebook about that. But again, I think eventually what happens is let's say that a lot of LGSs like literally start trying to make money off of just running tournaments where anyone from anywhere in the world can go and play in their tournament, pay the $5. I don't know how the prize pool would work if you're not in the area, but I think eventually it would just come down to only the premium level stores that can offer like some type of online store credit would survive that. You know what I mean? Like if you're a small local LGS and you're out there and you're running these tournaments and having people from all over playing them, if you don't have an online store, what good is your store credit?
Right.
If you don't have an online store that's worth it, if you have only a small online store, what's your store credit worth? So
It's almost
again,
as bad as give me cash and I'll give you credit for a future date.
Yeah, exactly. Go to the smaller stores, but it'll drive people to premium stores that have big online e-commerce websites, because
you can actually
you're going to
get the
go and
product.
play there because you can actually get stuff from them. So you win the store credit. It's just like, and eventually it's going to end up just Channel Fireball and Star City Games running online tournaments. You know what I mean? It's not going to be anyone else.
That's fine, because those are their large. Those are.
I would argue that it's probably going to end up being Channel Fireball, maybe Star City Games. But I mean, think about it this way: Magic Fest is toast right now. So they have a huge investment into that with all the money they sunk into it. They need to do something to capitalize. I mean, I could see Star City Games doing it. They have the money and the finances, actually, considering how much Channel Fireball's out right now.
Right. True.
Yeah. And there's some others. I'm not saying it would just be Channel Fireball or Star City. There's like ABU Games, there's Card Kingdom, but it would only be these huge sites. That's none of the little LGSs, except for some of the bigger premium stores, could even compete.
Yeah.
We're in Massachusetts, so big store here is, say, like TJ Collectibles. He could probably compete, but who else could?
Acton, gaming,
right.
etc.
Right. Gaming, etc. But it would only be, I think, in New England, I can think of maybe 4 that would survive this, that would be able to put, really compete in this type of tournament.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess, that's kind of it for me on the topic. I think it's bad news.
Definitely.
I understand getting rid of the DCI is bad. We haven't heard much from you, Mr. Eric, on this topic. What say you on the end of the DCI? I know you've been mostly playing online, but
it won't affect me personally as much as I know it will affect others that tend their LGSs a lot or try to go to different events and such. But it sucks. It's one of those things. Like, I guess I just look at it just probably like you guys do. It's just kind of like it's an unfortunate end of an era type thing because it's been around so long. It's kind of like now you're just kind of taking the legs out from underneath of it, so to speak. And but unfortunately there's nothing we can really do about it because at the end of the day they're going to do what they want to do to further their own agenda and whatever that may be. But I guess they all look at it like we're kind of like lemmings and we'll just kind of keep following around regardless of what happens and just keep making excuses why they do the stupid stuff that they do. But
I just can't wait for the Walmart sponsored tournament
events. Yeah, I think
I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't. I would not be surprised about that.
And a shout out to all the people who. Sorry, a shout out to all the people who lost their LGSs. I'm feeling you right now, man. If you're lucky, give it a little bit of time. They'll come back, but it's rough right now. It's a really, really rough time. I preliminarily thought it was going to take me like 2 months to get back up and running after losing my lease. Losing my lease was actually the best thing that's happened to me this year because of the COVID-19 outbreak.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you lost your store at the best time possible.
Literally the last week in February, I had to be out, and 2 weeks later, everything shut down.
Yeah.
The silver lining on that is very, very shiny.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Francis in chat says, I think you guys, and I do have a point to make about this comment, but I think you guys are severely overestimating the value of competition in MTG to the overall growth and popularity of the game. Well, this is what I think is happening with the paper game is, we all talk about, we've talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! And as store owners or TOs, some of us have had to run Yu-Gi-Oh! And deal with Konami. And look, Konami has had like a certain philosophy on competitiveness of the game and how they sell the game. And and Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't really care about the LGSs in general. They know that the majority of product that they sell is out of big box stores. Right. So they're selling most of their stuff online, out of Walmarts, out of Targets, out of places like that. That's where they're moving most of their product. And they're making a ton of money. And I've even sat here over the years again and again And I've called out the Death of Yugioh and said it's going to die. It's going to die. And you know what? It's never happened. And I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh is never going to die. And I just want to say before I give the floor over to Sfera that I think that is kind of what Magic wants. You're right. They don't really care about the paper competitive scene. They'll continue to run things like Magic Fests, which are equivalent to Yu-Gi-Oh YCSs. And those are all kind of done centrally by Konami and by professional tournament organizers. But at the end of the day, I think Wizards knows that they make a lot of money off paper. They know that paper is not going to go anywhere, but they want to centralize how they sell it. And these aren't strikes at the end of paper. They're not trying to get rid of paper. They're trying to get rid of the LGS and move to more of how Konami sells their product, which is through big box stores.
Right.
I'm going to argue that they're not selling you anything with Arena. They're leasing it to you with no option to buy it out. That being said,
agreed. It's just
I do not underestimate the power of competitive play in Magic. Without competitive play in Magic and the want and drive to go to these big events, do well, and for people to make a ton of money, and at the prospect of, hey, even at the pre-release level when they used to be centralized, of going to a pre-release to make a few packs a week or two early to bring back to your local neighborhood to sell for twice the price, and then turn around and take all that money, save it when the set drops, and buy more. Competitive Magic, people it's not all about competitive. It's not all about competitive. It is all about competitive. When you see a new kid coming into your store who's played Magic for a week or two at school with his friends at the lunch table, then he sits down and plays in the store, and it's a little bit more structured with the rules. And then he comes out and plays his first Friday Night Magic. You just see his eyes light up at a chance of winning a prize. That's the competitive nature of the human spirit. If you strip that from the game, you strip the passion of this game from it.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? Yeah.
We are all competitive by nature, and Magic's competitive scene keeps sucking new people into the game. Without it, the game will stagnate and it will lose players. And as for your comment on Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh will never die. The last time I seen a game of Yu-Gi-Oh being played in an LGS was 2 years ago when I went to a friend's store, and it was two guys hanging out, and they hadn't played in a tournament in ages.
Right.
And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like,
the collectability is there, but
I know some stores in the area that still have pretty large Yu-Gi-Oh. In Boston itself.
Yeah.
There's a store that it's pretty big. But I'm going to totally agree with you and say that. But the essence of what Konami knows, that they're not selling most of their cards to actual people going into stores and playing. They're selling their cards to people that are just playing in their house, and the game continues to sell to that group of people, and it will continue to do that, even though Konami does not support at all local tournament scenes. They don't do it. Yes, they have the Konami stores, whatever, and they do the sneak peeks, but their support at the local LGS level is poor, even compared to what Wizards has now, and it always has been poor. And that game continues to make a ton of money. And I feel like Wizards sees that, and they say, like, all these years everyone's been saying that game's going to die, and it hasn't died, and they're still selling a ton of product. So we want to be able to sell a ton of product without having to depend upon the LGSs, which is kind of what Konami does. They couldn't give a crap. They don't give a crap if all the LGSs went out of business, because Konami knows that all the little kids are still going to go to Walmart and buy their damn tin boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the way it is for Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's what they want for Magic. They don't want the paper game to go anywhere. They want to sell to the whales. In my opinion, they want to sell all of their premium products to the whales off of their webpage, so they know that those adult high earning whales are never going anywhere either. They're always going to be there to buy the premium packs and the collector's boosters. And they want to get the lower end buyers and the kids out of Walmart and Target. They don't, and they believe that they're always going to be there.
Blubbered.
And that's true. That's true. I don't know. So that's kind of what I have to say. I don't know what everyone else, if anyone else has another word on that, definitely kick in. And
I mean, I think that you covered everything pretty well, in my opinion.
Cool. All right. Yeah, we can.
Doesn't matter. Just kidding. Don't kick me.
I mean,
In
all right,
regards to-
Aspera, see you
sad.
later.
in regards to the Yu-Gi-Oh thing, we also have-
Oh, now he's down there. Fuck you.
Oh, Grim moved up.
Now you're in the
Oh.
corner, as far you had a spot at the
Like-
top.
I'm
Now
on
you're
the
at the bottom.
Oh, I am.
Whoops.
You moved down the
I think-
social ladder.
You
good
know
sir.
what?
I think
You know what? I
I'm
want
okay.
Cinder next to me.
Now
Wow,
look at you,
that's what?
Grim. Now,
Hey,
now you're.
do I need to
I'll
shower?
grab some either.
That is going to get so blown out of context later on.
Oh god.
Oh my.
How did you
True.
Hashtag me next.
Oh
Yes,
gosh.
Cinder, you're next in
Oh
line.
my god.
Yeah.
Next to go down to the bottom.
Hashtag
Oh
me
my
next.
God. I gotta stop.
Oh, is
Hey,
Eric
you,
jealous?
Oh.
Before we move
Eric's
on,
jealous.
Guys,
He's not in the
if you really
middle.
want this to be totally inappropriate, if it's any consolation, Vira's on top of me.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, Cinder's on
Oh.
top of you.
Yeah.
Hey, send that through.
He's sitting on your
Was that
face. That's not, I mean,
Hey, move me over
you
here.
have to accept it.
Oh boy. All right. Beautiful segue into the next topic. What do we want to talk about next?
How about Cinder? So we'll give it to Cinder. Read the tweet from Mark Rosewater. Read that
Oh, we
tweet.
do this one, we do this one.
Gotta quickly
The
bring it
insanity.
back up.
I need more liquor before we get into that tweet.
I was gonna say I need to take a
Oh,
sip here.
this is gonna be a long one because you guys are gonna totally hate me.
So Mark Rosewater, this is in a whole thread of stuff where he's asking more about balancing and all this, and he says, "I'm the innovation guy. The only way I can help balance is by pushing less into the unexplored space.
Oh.
I'm trying to get a sense from the audience if that is what they want. I put companion into Ikoria. Was I wrong to do so?"
Yes. End of topic. Move on.
Pretty
No
good.
more cuck water here.
So
Face
you know, like he's talking about making stuff in an unexplored space that's outside of the game and away from the fundamentals of Magic to bring something
Like-
new to the game, and
like companion.
it's not. They made it where it's uninteractable, and that is the biggest problem that we're having right now with the current standard meta. Is everything you can't interact with at a normal in a normal deck at all.
Because it's
Right.
magic. It's magic. Literally magic. The solitaire.
Yeah.
And not because it's arena, but it's solitaire. Like because you can't.
Anybody remember
actually do
Cascade?
anything. Yes.
It's
Remember-
like that
Yeah.
scene from Farscape, your side, my side, my side, your side, your side, my side. That's all it is. It's just there's no interaction.
You
Yeah,
guys
you-
might. You guys
the,
won't remember
the
this.
whole poker interaction is out of it. Like that's actually. I mean, people don't realize that's a big part of the game is trying to read your opponent. If you don't see
Yes.
their face, then I mean, yeah, you're playing
Well,
the
this is-
game still to the best of your abilities, but you would make different selections based off of your opponent's body language. You know what I mean? And it's like people just don't really think of that as a big deal, but it really is.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
one of
seen
one of the biggest things.
This is go forever.
One of the biggest things
go
with
ahead.
companion
I
is
hate
that
arena.
it's uninteractable until it hits the board. You can't do anything about it. You don't even have to draw the card because it's already there,
Right.
waiting to be casted. And I think that was the biggest oversight with companion and why it's changed so much of the format.
Yeah.
Mutate is fine. Just answering Groovy. Mutate is. I think that mechanic is fine because you can actually interact with that. You can counter it. You can stifle it. You can stop it. Companions, you can't do anything. It has to hit the board, and then you can. Then you have to have a removal spell. You know, it's completely created a new zone to the game. You know, mutate's actually at least something that's in the game out of your hand. And hey, how many decks was it that was in the last Legacy? And I'm talking Legacy.
100% of the decks are running companion.
Yeah, and 24 of them were
decks
running.
have Ludicrous.
Yes, it's crazy.
I believe 100% of the decks were running Maris, or they're running a companion to some.
Yeah.
Well, we know what's getting banned there.
They haven't banned them yet. They haven't banned.
No, what did we ban?
Yeah.
So
Well,
why?
it's hard to
Why,
say.
Cinder? Why do this? Why did they do this?
So do you know the?
Well,
do you know
they're
the
trying
old
to play
arguments?
around with the game in a different space and make people re-look at the way that they're making decks. But this didn't have a net positive effect. I think it made a net negative effect on deck building, because now you build a deck and you go, okay, can I have a companion in there? Yeah. Do I have to remove a couple cards? Fine. Okay, now you put it in there, right? It honestly should just be, you could start it with your hand instead of it being in a separate zone.
Yeah.
I disagree with that one too.
Well, if they want to keep it that way, where you can interact with it with some sort of disruption.
I mean, then now that just says you're looking for a perfect 6 instead of a perfect 7.
Yeah, but that's part of it, right?
This nullifies the mulligan mechanic for your first mulligan.
Right.
It gives you a free mulligan no matter what.
So why
I just
is
don't like
someone?
the added
I
zone.
go on forever about but
Companion should have been only functioning from the command zone. Save yourself a lot of headaches. The card would not be OP if it was allowed to be your commander only and work off that function.
Right.
it should never even been made in the first place. I'm sorry. This is a
I
mechanic
agree.
that should have been tested. And every single time Mark Rosewater develops a powerful mechanic such as this or Storm or any of those, it doesn't
Spell?
really think it doesn't get tested, because I think it's more of a, well, Mark made it, so obviously he knows what he's doing, so this doesn't need to get tested.
No, it's not.
Let's test it. We just need to test that.
It's Mark
His
made it.
tweet-
Let's not piss at his Cheerios or he'll fire us.
Exactly. That's
A white man with power. Go figure. Oh wait, sorry.
His tweet.
hey man, he's Jewish.
Do not give him to us.
My problem is the thing is
He's like blaming us. He's like blaming in his tweet. I just want to say he's like blaming us.
he's blaming the players.
He's like blaming the players, saying you made it too powerful.
Yeah, and the thing
It's
Oh,
stupid
your
stuff.
fault.
you developed it and said we don't really need to play test this. This is my thing. Or people said, like we all said, I don't want to get fired by telling him it was a terrible mechanic, because then he's going to throw a fit. And
Right.
whenever Mark has been called out on his mechanics or anything like that, even watching it on other shows and on other channels of him being called about the mechanics that he's made mistakes with, he gets that sour face on him, and you can tell that. Like after that, the interview was just terrible with him, because he doesn't like being called out for the mistakes he makes. He doesn't.
Here's the thing with Rosewater. Real simple, King. Rosewater either needs to be R&D or the face of the company. You can't do both, because it's the argument that they've used forever. You can't have the main boss of the company assigning something to the peons. When you assign something to the peons are afraid for their job.
Agreed. And the thing is, he needs to retire. He just needs to be done. He's
I
been
would give
long
my
enough.
soul to that.
I think who's the guy who's basically his going to be his takeover? What is his name? He's much better suited for the development side of things. I think he does a better job, and he takes things into consideration. He takes power levels into consideration, and he takes design into consideration much better than Mark ever has. Mark's experience in gaming and development and design was majority Magic the Gathering. Prior to that, he was a TV show writer for Roseanne, as he loves to brag about.
Yep.
Yeah, why hasn't anybody called him out on his risky skits yet from that? Oh, that's right, because
There
he's
were,
He did one episode. Come on now.
His what? What did he do?
he did like one or
He
two.
wrote an episode of Roseanne back in the 80s.
Oh, I see.
He's a prime example of why you shouldn't hire your brother's sister's cousin's niece's nephew.
Oh, I see.
Remember his when he was working on Ravnica with Richard Garfield, the one Rav set, and remember how oh god, he kept comparing himself in importance to Richard Garfield.
Not even in the same ballpark.
No.
That's remember when he was doing that though? That was like I was like, what a pretentious prick.
He thinks
Holy
he's the
shit.
Ted Williams. He thinks he's the Ted Williams to Babe Ruth, when in all actuality, he's just another Roger Clemens on steroids.
I'm really surprised they didn't bring Richard Garfield on for Ikoria.
I
Mainly
am.
because
Yeah.
of this game.
I am. His Coke bucket hasn't run dry yet. You notice he only ever comes back every few years when his money's running light after investing it into games that fail horribly? Oh wait, he just had one fail horribly. Never mind.
Right.
I recant that.
Damn.
Well,
Trying to
Keyboard.
develop it's not Magic the Gathering. Made a wonderful thing. It's amazing.
Keyforge. Keyforge did good for what it was supposed to do. Suck money out of the players' pockets. The truth of the matter is, yeah, where is it today?
Well, you
It's
can't
so
play it
good.
anymore.
Take advantage of something at the time when people were getting.
Hey, does anybody even play it anymore?
yeah,
People are playing
but
it on
you have to remember it's a Fantasy Flight game, and Fantasy Flight does not continue to support any game. So that's
Yeah.
just how they function. They release something, make a ton of money off it, and then they drop it like a rock.
Yep.
That's just what they do. That's their MO. That's just that company.
Well,
No
it's
matter
still
how
got-
much, no matter how much people say they love Keyforge and Keyforge is great, and there's a ton of Keyforge players, that's just not how they don't know Fantasy Flight. They don't know
Right.
how Fantasy Flight functions.
Keyforge is on its 4th edition. Yeah, it's 4th edition of the same printing.
And nobody realizes it's on its 4th edition. Like, people don't even realize it's that far into the game. I didn't even know it was on its 4th edition. I thought they were still on like set 2 or 3. That's how
It's because there's no one talking about it at all.
exactly.
They were at
Right.
first last year. Like everybody was all about it. Like it was the hottest thing ever. Like
Well,
I
it
just
is.
never
It
really
was
looked into
a
it.
year or two ago, and that was it.
The
Their
same 200
subreddit
people
has
playing it.
17,000 people in it.
Yeah, and the same 200 people post those 17,000 posts. You know how Reddit works.
True.
Yeah, I know.
True.
You are a mean
How many,
man, Rob.
I am absolutely
He is.
brutal because I don't care.
Couldn't be
What do I
treated.
have to
Nasty,
lose?
nasty.
Was he going to take my DCI away? Oh,
That's
wait.
right.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
boy.
gonna get this Rob guy. Oh, that's like, yeah. Oh, wait, I forgot you're taking everybody's away. No.
Cinder,
love
hey,
lost there.
how many is there even Keyforge content creators out there on YouTube or anymore, or they all moved on to something else?
They're gone. The only person that was doing it was Mike, and he stayed on it the longest. And I don't think there's anyone doing Keyforge coverage anymore.
Yeah, it's
Have
tough to
you-
do Keyforge coverage when you can't even go out and play it right now, though.
Yeah.
Right.
How?
That's true.
Here's a question about
It's
Keyforge.
strictly social.
How? I have a question. A real legitimate question about Keyforge. How long has any fad ever lasted when it comes out of Christmas?
Oh,
3 months.
Drew says there are Keyforge content creators, but I feel like I never see them. And I mean, I've looked into Keyforge a bit, and obviously at the beginning I had looked into it a lot, but I feel like, I mean, I don't know how large they are, how large their channels are and everything, but like, I just haven't seen a lot of them around. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right places, but I feel like there's no channels that are large that are solely dedicated to Keyforge.
I've not seen or heard any channels in almost a year.
Yeah, and I'm not
Keyforge.
talking like ones that play other TCGs. I'm saying specifically Keyforged focused channels that are doing decently well. Because, I
There's
mean,
none. I don't. think there are.
it's fine because there's a lot of other people that, you know, throw in, you know, Keyforge into their channels. I'm talking about dedicated channels because if you look at Magic dedicated channels, holy shit, there's a lot of them.
yeah, they're all small.
I'll say
Large,
that's a
Drew
topic
says
in
large,
itself.
oh god no. At least over, let's say 15k. Are there any over 15k that are dedicated solely to Keyforge?
Probably
No.
500. I mean, for 1,700 people on Reddit, that's probably about 500. That's probably about 500 follow subscriptions on YouTube.
Again, I still,
Reality.
whenever anyone tells me how much they love Keyforge, that's fine. It could be the greatest game ever, but unfortunately, it's backed by a company that just doesn't care.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
agree
thing.
with
I
you.
mean,
Graham.
anybody
don't
can play
care
what they
about-
want. I mean, if you love what you love, that's cool. But I mean, if the company doesn't care, then you're going to be stuck with whatever you have, and then that's it.
That's the
What's
problem. No, that company don't care.
What's King's thoughts on this
For what? Companion?
for Keyforge?
Oh, Keyforge is
Companion-
dead.
We've
Keyforge is
already-
dead. It's dead for
You already
almost
said
a year
you
now.
pay garbage.
I don't think the game
So
was
how do-
garbage. I think the idea of the game was good. I thought it was a great idea that that George, sorry,
Lucas,
Garfield.
George Lucas, fuck you.
couldn't-
Oh my god.
What? Who said
Hours.
that?
Everybody-
I'm dying. How could you say something that rude and offensive?
I know.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Disgusting kid.
Uh,
You know what? Now you're at the bottom.
Well,
Oh, I'm gonna have
I'm
way
a-
too much fun with this shit.
I'm a
Oh, boy.
misogynist, racist,
Oh,
all the
boy.
above.
Richard Garfield developed something that actually is a lot of fun to play, and it's very socially engaging. But the thing is you have issues with the sustainability of the game, considering the fact that he intentionally developed it where it can't be traded, and it's not meant to have a secondary market. It's not meant to have a lot of the things that are part of the social interaction that Magic has. Magic has that, and part of the social interaction is being able to haggle with friends and other people and players with your cards and get some better value out of the cards you have.
Right.
So let's kind of like let's talk about this power creep, and this goes back to companions because look,
Okay.
there's more problem. Let's face it, there's more problems with the game than just companions. Companions are just kind of like a highlight of the problem.
Companions are the symptom.
And they're they're a symptom, and you know, it kind of all leans back towards why I had Cinder read that tweet. Just the power creep in general is insane, you know. Like, how do we fix this? It's ruining standard. So I'll go on and I'll play a bunch of games of standard, and literally, if I'm playing on ranked, I'm literally against the same 4 to 5 decks. I never see anything else.
Right.
Just 4 to 5 decks playing this 4 to 5 same cards. And I know there's always been net decking, but oh my god,
The problem with online
want-
Magic.
Here, if you want some easy wins, go into unranked and just put Loserus in your deck as your companion, and watch how many people concede.
That's just because they don't want to deal with him.
Right? That's how ridiculous companions have gotten. However,
Yeah.
companions in themselves, you take them in a vacuum, they're probably fine, because there's everything else that's in the meta right now that is making things absolutely difficult and frustrating to play.
Yeah. I know that I think most of us here play Arena. I don't know about Asfera, but anyway. Yeah, fair enough.
Wait a minute, you actually played it? Oh,
Yeah, ask
congratulations.
Cinder
Yeah, he
about
played like 2 games and lost to Cinder. Yeah, he
Oh.
played like 2 games.
I didn't play. I built jank, and then I found out I was all stacked against me.
Anyway, I
Here's
just
the thing
think
that
that
I'm-
I think that companions are kind of ruining. I guess I'll say Arena because paper standards on hold at the moment, just kind of ruining the Arena experience for a lot of people, because I've read in like threads and groups and whatnot, and people just in general being pretty dissatisfied with companions, and they're just not enjoying them, and I completely understand that, but I think that it's kind of ruining the experience a lot of people are having online on online Magic right now on Arena.
I'll say this about it. Since I haven't personally played with any companions yet, but I will say just in the limited amount of time I've actually gotten to play Arena since they've been out, I honestly don't think I have played against one deck that didn't have a companion. I think I was probably like the only person running a non-companion deck on Arena, because like
there's a few non-companion decks that you can run that are actually pretty powerful. I mean, you could run Winota, and it's not a terrible deck. It's actually a really quite good deck. It's just the lack of interaction within Standard, and the reason why there's a lack of interaction in Standard is because there's a lack of imagination in Standard. Designers and developers for Standard decks, most of us look at what the most popular decks are, and we build around it, or we build it within it. I'll even admit I myself do the same thing. Modern and Pioneer have way better interaction because people have way more imagination, but they have access to a larger card pool too.
yeah.
What I'm gonna say about that is the lack of imagination died in Magic when people got on Twitter and bitched about a card to get it banned, rather than waiting the extra 3 days for the set to be released that had the answer for every color.
Right.
You know what hurts with a bit of the design aspect of Magic the Gathering is actually way too early spoilers. Month out, and you got pros already developing decks and posting decks online. Then Arena gives access to it 3 weeks before the paper stuff comes out. Arena should be following paper releases.
King, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't understand. The month out spoiler isn't to help the pros; it's to help the layman, because the pros get the cards 4 months out.
I know it's a hype thing. It's a hype thing. I don't care because you know what? It removes the imagination of it because everyone's already pre-developing everything. It removes the freshness from interactive gameplay. It removes that freshness.
They need to go back and remove the pro players from the testing of the game and let the cards be fresh from day one. The biggest problem with the game is the pro player interaction, having the cards a month before everyone else.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. When Mark Rosewater asked the question, do people think it's too powerful? Standard's too powerful? If it's overpowered, underpowered, or normal? I'll be honest. When I wrote my response, this is me looking at it constructively. I think it's perfectly fine. I think the power level is perfectly fine. I think people's imaginations and thought patterns, we lose our focus on the fact of there are answerable solutions that are at a good cost range for decks. Like such as, I don't even think people realize there's Grafdigger's. Most people, I forgot Grafdigger's Cage is in standard right now to be used against Winota. That shuts down that whole deck. It shuts down.
If we rent it here because it's rotating.
Yeah, it'll be rotating in the fall, but prior to then, we might even get other things that jump in there. But even my comment was, why don't we develop cards that are around being able to, if you're going to drop a powerful card, create a card that's as power limiting for that card as well. Immediately with that set. So you should have a balance within the set of, we have these good power cards, but we also have to have things that are answerable items for them. Not just, here's a whole bunch of power, now enjoy the set. And then there's nothing really answerable. Or they say, oh, well, 7 sets ago there was an answer made. Well, Magic players aren't wired like that. We see a set, and then the next thing you know, I watched people after the set's not even released on paper, and people are already asking about spoilers for the next set. This set spoilers went, and then the next day I saw tweets and Reddit posts of people saying, when are the next spoilers going to be coming? That's literally our attention.
It's because they're spoiled.
Yeah, we are. We really are. And Watson needs to put a cut on that. And I would say if they got rid of if they were to limit or remove, like, okay, we're going to let you guys see 1/4 of the set prior to release. We're going to spoil that for you. 1/4 of the set. We're going to spoil 1/3 or 1/2 of the planeswalkers. We're going to spoil the lands. We're going to spoil 5 rares and a bunch of commons, uncommons. Everything else is a surprise. Congratulations, have fun, and people are going to probably really enjoy that. I think it will make a better job of providing a good experience for players.
Right.
Yeah. Remember how you guys always ask me, hey, have you been paying attention to the spoilers? What do you think of this set? Have you guys not noticed that 90% of the time I'm like, whatever, I don't read the spoilers until the night before the set goes live?
Yeah.
Because for me, like, I've always done better at pre-releases not having pre-thought notions of how good a card is in a vacuum of itself. I like to evaluate the entire set all at once.
Yeah.
I've always said it would be great if we didn't get the spoilers and they just release a lot of these things blind like they used to.
Yes.
It would stop a lot of the net decking. It would delay the net decking probably by about a week.
No,
it would take a little bit before things got completely out there.
It would stop it by about a month, because here's the thing, most of your spoilers are out a month ahead of time and people are already brewing in their head and using the hive mind known as the weaponized autism of the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we I think some of us are saying that, standard is okay if you have a little imagination and you try to build around actually answering things. Well, I felt like King was saying that. I think that standard is broken. So with that in mind, if our stance is that standard is broken, that the power creep was too high, like, what do we do right now? What can they do right now to fix it, to try and make it
right
playable?
Now we're back to the same problem that we had back in Kaladesh with Attune to the Aether, where it made mana fixing too quick, and that is what is going on here. We also have Fires of Invention, which is creating this double free cast. We've got Wilderness Reclamation, which is doubling, tripling, quadrupling your mana at the end of your turn, which just makes things unstoppable. I I saw today someone running Linvala with Winota, which is pretty smart, because that shuts down a lot of free casting, but it doesn't shut down everything that's wrong with it, because a lot of the stuff like Garuda and Winota, they both are just enter the battlefield. They're not casting spells. So the card itself only shuts down fires, and I think it can still be played around.
Right.
It's true. Anyone else have any ideas of? Banning. Should we just start banning stuff?
No, print fucking answers.
You print answers.
They did print an answer, but the answer was too big. That was Veil of Summer. They ended up banning it, and Veil of Summer would shut down a little bit of the agent stuff, but it still wouldn't stop it.
Veil Summer, I think it's a viable answer for a lot of things that are currently in standard. The problem is they don't play test. The problem is they don't play test the way you should be play testing, which is taking into consideration both standard and modern and pioneer. They test mostly limited. You're looking at limited and drafting is what they're focusing on the most, and those are that's the biggest problem, because now they're not even thinking really about your extended formats that are meant to be eternal. They only want to focus on drafting, because
they
that's
test around the format that sells the most amount of sealed product, drafting. They don't care about constructed. As far as they're concerned, if they could break constructed and force everybody to play sealed, they would do it. I've heard the conversations. I have friends in the company. They don't care about high-end constructed because they don't capitalize. The Grand Prix cost them money. Wizards is fronting the prize pool unless it gets extended as part of their contract. It's part of their promotions budget. The companies aren't putting the prize pool on the line. Wizards of the Coast is. You get a check from them. You have to fill out a 1099 for them.
Right.
That is the problem.
Very true.
That is the problem. The problem, it's just insane.
I guess I'm just looking for answers like mechanically. How do we fix standard right now? Not in the future.
Looking into the cards and actually doing research. The problem is you have a lot of younger players who just don't want to do the work on research.
Exactly.
Want to have
exactly right.
Yeah. And the biggest problem with Magic right now in Arena is single game wins. These people, the people that are playing that, even myself, we're getting lazy because we're developing decks that are meant to win in one game, not develop decks that are meant to win over a series of 3 games or guarantee you a win over a series to get 3 games, which means sideboard development and deck integration development.
That is part of the reason why I play Arena, is for the quickness and for the games. But now I'm running into games where they take 30 to 45 minutes for you to sit there and watch your opponent dirtle and play solitaire. And it's not fun. I got to say that. I could probably switch to a best of 3 format with the sideboard, but then I don't like best of 3 online myself. I would rather play that in the store, actually have the interaction with the people. That's where paper really is king superior to it, because you get the interaction. You don't get to sit there and draw it out. And they even said at one point, I think it was like 90% of people play best of 1 anyway. I think they need to do, I think that was back about 6 months ago. They said something like that. They were even talking about they were talking about getting rid of best of 3 at one point. And people went, no, you can't get rid of it.
They were talking about getting rid of best of 3, but that's because it was Arena playing best of 1, and whoever plays best of 1. Well, that's because no one had a choice but to play best of 1. And the minute you opened up best of 3, it was a floodgate. People really wanted to play it. You guys' servers actually for the best of 3 were bogged down something horrible for about the first month because you didn't have enough servers for it.
And now Arena for that.
Yeah, Arena, because that's what put people into playing was, it's a best of 1, it's a quick, fast, smash format. Then we're only going to be standard here. We're only going to be standard. And now you look at them, and now they're releasing Historic, and it's Historic Anthology 3. And
which to be fair, anybody with a functioning brain cell knew they were going to try to go backwards.
Of course they were. And I'm waiting for the time when the deals, when their daily deals become another section of daily singles, where you can buy the singles for, spend gold on it.
I'm sure.
On it. they can make money off it.
I guess that's a good segue into the kind of the third topic is I just want to say, by the way, the one game Magic, I kind of have been calling it Smash Mouth Magic, you know, kind of like the old style football. It's like, you know, you just get in there, smashing the game, you're out. You know, that's kind of like what it is. Smash Mouth Magic, you know. And it's different. It's a different game. To me, it's a different game. It's not the same game. Magic is about sideboards. It's about answers, and that's not what this is.
Right.
Yeah, 100% agree there, Grim.
Yeah.
They do it. Before we move on to the next topic, I just want to cover the one thing. They do usually once a season with the best of one play where they ban all the problematic cards. And I think they almost need to bring that in as a secondary option for people that don't want to play with the overpowered. If you're being introduced to the game, it would be a great addition for something to be there right now.
Well, that's the thing is, if we're going to be promoting best of one, then remove all the problematic cards for best of one. You cannot play any of these overpowered cards for best of one. Sorry, you want to play them, you got to play in best of three because now people can develop answers in their sideboard, and it forces you to have deck development and imaginative.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Then get rid of them in
Magic.
Smash Mouth Magic.
Or,
I like
or
that.
Just, yeah, that's what I've been kind of calling it. You know, like when I used to watch football, NFL when I was a kid, you know, a lot of the more aggressive teams that always be Smash Mouth football. So that's kind of like how I see Magic now with the best of ones. It's not regular Magic anymore. But you were talking, King, you brought it up about Historic Anthology 3, and like this is a great topic. Like, so basically, what the fuck is historic anthologies for? Like, here's my thing. So what's Wizards doing with this? One, yes, it's making it so you can now buy singles. Yes, you have to buy them in single packs, but they're still singles packs. It's not buying.
You can buy them individually by using your rares and mythics.
Wild cards. Well, you could do that at any time, but what I'm saying now is like now you can go in and you can just buy a copy of 4 all at once, you know, using gems or real money or whatever.
It's like $25, $30 to get all of them unlocked out of reset.
And we're going to know tomorrow how many there are in this set. I believe Anthology 1 was 20 cards. Anthology 2 was 25 cards. This is probably going to be 30 or 35 cards. But here's the thing. What the hell is Historic for? What is it supposed to mean? Because originally when they announced Historic, they were kind of alluding to the fact that, it's going to slowly catch up to Pioneer. It's going to eventually be Pioneer. We're going to add sets and program sets and code sets into Arena little by little, set at a time. You know, we can't do it all at once. And that's reasonable. I understand you can't get them all in at once. But we're saying that Historic would be Pioneer. But now, how can that be? Historic Anthology is introducing cards older than Pioneer. We're getting Phyrexian Obliterator, right? Phyrexian Obliterators, Phyrexia. That's not Pioneer. So
it's not Pioneer.
So here's my question to everyone. What the hell is Historic, other than a cash grab? Because I'm sure all of us agree that offering the cards as you know, a bulk deal and putting these older cards into Historic is a cash grab. But what is it going to mean to the game?
I think this is what's going to happen. They're gonna promote this Historic for long until they can get to the point, because you notice a lot of the stuff that's going to be has been in these Historics have been parity based cards to get them towards a parity with Pioneer, but they also throw in some modern stuff in there as well, just to get people who are in modern excited about coming, like Meddling Mage. That only people like myself who play Lockdown or Prison decks want to play that, because now I can develop a Prison Lockdown deck for Pioneer. I think what they're going to do is we're going to get to the point where they finally get to they're going to finally get to the point where they're at parity with Pioneer, and then they're going to say all these things that were historic and stuff. It's no longer historic. We're at parity with Pioneer. All these cards that aren't technically Pioneer, we're going to pull them all out of the thing. We're going to give you wild cards for them all. We'll give you 1 wild card per 4, or we'll give you 1 wild card per 2, or we'll give you and people will complain, and then they'll finally say, okay, you'll each get a wild card for each of the rares that you bought, so you feel like you're not losing your money.
Right.
And it's just like you said. This is a money grab. It's another way to get people who are more like me, who are legacy and modern and pioneer focused. It gets us more excited to want to play Arena. It gets us into playing Arena. I'm just waiting for them to finally open it up and say Commander is now in Arena, and we can play Commander Standard rather than just whatever, a Brawl.
What we need, they need to add in a where you can build your own game. Where if you want to run 100 cards, you run 100 cards. You want to run 250 cards, you run 250 cards. Yes, you could do that normally, but if you want to have it with like the Commander rules, change your life total, that they need that little niche, little things that we can adjust. So when we want to play friends, we can have a decent game and stuff like that. With the historic anthology stuff, there is mention. I believe it was the State of the Game, not this recent one, but the one before that they did have an off mention of Pioneer Masters. So now with the historic anthologies out there, is this a glimpse of what is going to end up being brought back in through the standard meta?
I'm gonna laugh when they say we're gonna move towards a parity with Pioneer. Then they're gonna say, oh, we're gonna do this new version of. We're gonna refer to it a master set, but it's basically modern masters. We're gonna bring in modern to Arena as well. Eventually, they're gonna be moving everything over. They want to move it to where the whole market for MTGO goes to Arena, so they can make all of the money on that, and no one else is making money off their product. They'll even probably go so far as to start selling and buying singles on there, and maybe they might allow us to, if we get extras, like instead of just getting gems, maybe we can actually, well, not get gems, but we can utilize it to get more gems like we do now. Like if you get the extra rares, when I've completely collected everything except for all the rares and commons and uncommons and mythics for all the Ravnica and War of the Sparks. I have all the cards. So whenever I get a rare in those, I just get 20 gems, or I get 50 gems if it's a mythic, I think. Or 30 gems if it's a mythic. They'll just give you more gems for that, and then they'll be like, we'll also sell individual singles as well for people, and they're going to have a whole separate market that's in there, but we won't be able to make money off of it. They won't allow sellers in there to make money off of it. They're going to be making money off of this. It's going to be a 100%.
What they should do is an auction house style like the MMOs do. Their best bet to make this more interesting would be you put your card up. There's a listing fee for listing your card up and a selling fee for when your card sells. Say you want to put a card up for X number of gems. We'll just take Flobo card number 1. And we put it up for 100 gems because the market value on it right now is I need to have one in the 1 in 100 packs, okay? And then somebody goes like, okay, yeah, 100 gems, I'll pay that. And they take 2 gems for listing and 2 gems for going away. Then there's a suck out of the economy, and they're getting something out of it. That would make the game more interesting for people like me.
Aren't they adding that to the MMO anyway? That's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. This is what I'd like to see them do. Or I think maybe what they'll end up doing is they'll start doing like an auction house where you can only sell things for gems, and you can start doing that. And maybe they'll open up, maybe the way we'll be able to make money off of things is by doing open trading. They'll start allowing us to trade like with
they will
Pokemon.
they will never allow us to trading because they've always said since day one of Moto that trading was the biggest mistake they ever allowed players to do.
And that's,
Yeah,
that's an issue because you know what, trading is one of the big integral parts of the social aspect of
It's literally called a trading card game.
Exactly.
No trading in this trading card game, you guys.
How dare
What
you trade a
bullshit you
trading
assume
card
you
game?
can do that?
The cardboard is mine.
Well,
Love it.
remember, Arena follows the formula that Blizzard created with Hearthstone, and Hearthstone has never had that, so it'll never have that because you know Blizzard created the modern. I hate to say it, Blizzard created the modern digital CCG.
They most
rules.
assuredly did not. It was actually Legends of Norath from EverQuest 2, and nobody gives them the credit that is due.
They had the same.
Hearthstone is
I know
a complete ripoff of Legends of Norath.
Oh, I'm not talking about the game system. I'm talking about the monetary, how they monetize it.
The monetization.
The current system.
Yeah,
it's not the system. It's the monetization. So that game that you're talking about, Legend of Norath, did not have the same monetization system as Hearthstone. I'm just saying that Blizzard created the modern digital card game monetization system, and everyone is going with that. And that's
What
what
is the
Blizzard is going.
monetization system?
How they do the packs, the gems, all of that stuff. Monetization system behind it. How you can't trade cards.
Legends of Norath implemented the system where you could trade cards, you could trade boosters, you could trade loot items in game, you could get loot items from the booster packs to bring back through to the actual physical game.
Yeah, and Hearthstone took that all out.
They got rid of all that.
Hearthstone took it all out. They got rid of all of that.
Yeah.
You dust your extra. Well, actually,
Yeah.
you were forced to dust them if you had more than 2.
Yep, and that's the system we have now. It's kind of like
gems.
They just modified
Lots
a system that was already in place for digital. Wizards of the Coast screwed up when they made Moto Magic Online with digital objects and did not pull the IP for online digital gaming in a time when internet IPs were easy to pull. If they had pulled the online digital card game IP then, there would be none of these other games without royalties to Wizards.
Right.
Yep.
I guess that is true. That is true. I never really thought about it like that, but yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
I just wanted to bring
Eric,
up
what do
here.
you think about Historic?
Well, I was just going to say this whole topic goes back to something we all discussed over a year ago. We knew this was all going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Like that's not like really a surprise. I mean, we talked about it. So I mean, as far as what they're doing exactly what we all said they were going to do. They were going to slowly start implementing new cards before it was even announced. I mean, we just said that's what they're going to do because they wanted to see first if people were going to, be all in on it. And then once they realized people did want to go all in on it, then they're like, okay, now we have something here. And now maybe we can start trying to implement older stuff to try to get the intrigue of the players that are playing more eternal formats and not just standard. And fast forward, here we are, and they're just doing exactly what we already knew they were going to do.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I mean, the in the route that they're doing it, I mean, I don't know. I can't say why they're picking and choosing the cards that they are, but I mean, they're still just, picking and choosing as they will, but they're still implementing new old cards nonetheless in whatever fashion that they're choosing to do it in.
I'll be honest, I think they're picking them was because it's the only way to get people who are eternal format players excited about playing Arena. Look at a channel like MTG AIDS, who does mostly modern and pioneer deck builds. And when he does standard, he's like, oh, this can be used in Arena, but he does all his video gameplay from MTGO. Because all of his collection's there. All of his stuff is in there. And that's, they feel like they get a value out of MTGO because their cards do have a collectible value and they can trade and do things with that. Or you can sell it to bots if they wanted to. You can have you can have more than 4 copies of a card. You can feel like you actually have a collection.
Oh, I agree with that because that's how I feel with my collection. Like if I wanted to, I could sell it off. If I decided to completely walk away from MTGO, I could be like, all right, I'll just sell it off and, all that good stuff. Whereas Arena, not so much.
It's yours. You're stuck with it.
Exactly.
I've seen people
worth like $4,000 or $5,000, and then Arena happened and come along, and like now it's worth maybe $500-800.
Oh yeah.
Killed the value.
I've seen people trying to sell their Arena accounts. I've seen it on Facebook.
Yeah, I've seen it too.
I've seen people post, "Hey, Arena account here, $500. It's got every card."
Yeah.
I don't know what the market is for that. And what's in the EULA? What's in Wizards EULA about that?
You can't.
Has anyone looked at you can't do it?
Absolutely cannot. You do not own your Magic Arena account. You don't own it. You basically are doing stuff for the purposes of playing. Don't forget, when the End Lights or User Agreement came out, everybody was ripping them a new asshole over it.
Yep.
Yeah, it removes a lot of your ability to make value out of your out of your quote, not even a collection. I can't even call it a collection. Out of your digital setup for
your HTML code.
Huh?
Your HTML code.
Yeah. I mean, it's your HTML. It's basically that. They've removed the ability for you to make any value off of the digital memory that you have sitting there on Arena, which is basically what it is digital memory, because you can't have more than 4 of any particular card.
Right.
Even when you have the cards that say there's an unlimited amount, it's unlimited. If you have 4 of them, you can just put as many as you want in your deck then.
Right. I see
At
Drew
least with the
saying
pack.
in chat, I refuse to spend money on a medium I do not own. I mean, that's how a lot of people feel, definitely.
Yeah.
I've
At
opened
least
about
on MTGO, you felt like you owned it.
I've owned so many packs. I've opened so many packs on on Arena, and I haven't paid a dime into the game because I refuse to give them money for a system in which I get nothing out of it at the end of the day. I am not paying for freaking service.
I mean,
When I first started with it, with the testing side of it, I put money in it only because I knew that I was going to get it all back when they reset everything. And they initially told us all that we would just get refunded our money. And instead of refunding us our money, they just gave me gems.
Yep.
Like, sorry,
I'm not. So I mean, I remember when they were doing that, they had said you were from the beginning that you were going to get your gems back.
Yeah,
they never
just
said that they could refund you your money.
No, it was before that even. It was when they were first. I was part of the original 1,000 people that were allowed to come in a test arena, and when they were telling us on the when we were sitting there in the forums talking, they were like, well, when we start doing the monetary testing, you guys should be getting, if you guys do pay money in, we'll just refund your bank account, but you still have to put your information in. And then they're like, no, we're just going to give you gems. They completely changed it. No. Because they didn't know how they were going to do it initially. They didn't even know if they're going to do, if they're just going to say, okay, you have this much money in your account, or if they're going to put in there like, okay, you have gems. They hadn't even developed yet, like if they're going to do gems or gold or what they're going to do. We were just playing. When I first started playing and testing Arena, we had 3 decks to use, or 4 decks, I think, and it was a dinosaur deck, a pirate deck, and something else. And they were all mostly Ixalan things.
Right.
Yeah, the NDA group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So I see that we're getting to the hour and a half mark. I think that it'd be a good time to kind of wrap up our thoughts on the things we've discussed tonight. If any of you have any last input into the topics we've talked about.
Well, I'll just end with the whole arena discussion. That me personally, I can say that I wouldn't have even put a dime into it if it wasn't for content creation. I mean, just in all honesty, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have spent a damn thing. But, and the irony is, I mean, granted, I'll probably still be doing Magic with you guys and stuff. But as far as like for my own solo channel, it's like now I kind of feel like, kicking the pants is kind of a waste of money. But,
well,
at least I guess now I got the cards.
Right,
but, but I still do play, yes. But it just sucks because I did spend money just for that very reason. But,
I understand that. I know that, I talk a lot about like video games and, maybe a lot of the times, like, let's look at The Last of Us 2. People, are like, why would you buy a game that, you've talked negatively about? It's because I'm a content creator. So even in this situation, buying things that, yes, I know I don't own, I'm leasing them, even though I don't want to say that I don't want to spend money on them, but, in a situation where I usually wouldn't spend money on it, I'm a content creator. When I play Arena, I want to have the cards available. I don't want to be, trying to grasp at straws with, I can kind of make this deck with half the cards. You need that for content creation. So, I mean, usually I wouldn't spend money on something like Arena, but I'm a content creator, so it's like you either have the cards to present the content with, or you don't, and you lack that.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have thoughts and prayers for MTG.
I have a final thought on the fact that the way Magic is going with the DCI has really left me with a sour inclination. I can't even think of words right now.
It's sour experience.
I am very disappointed in Wizards of the Coast right now, and this is it for me to say I am very disappointed when I didn't think I could get any more disappointed in the company over the last 2 years. It's a lot.
The minute you say that, and they're like, "Here, let me hold my beer."
Yeah, they're just friggin' raising the bar every time.
Yep.
I felt so bad over the whole DCI thing. I had to have a drink for this topic tonight to keep me calm. That being said, I'm going to play Commander. I'm going to enjoy it when we can get back out to hanging out with our homies and friends and play it. Real paper Magic, face to face, where we can smack talk, read signals, and learn to read people's faces. Because you know what? When you're playing online, you're just playing against a computer. No emotions, nothing.
Right.
I would take the emotions of the heat of the moment. I'll take being salty for 15 minutes over a stupid disruption of my combo, and then someone else turns and wins.
Right.
I'll take Kingmaker over what's currently going on right now.
I mean,
Cinder, last words from you?
Well, I gotta say, I do miss paper. I don't. The little constructed that I do play, I never really played a ton of constructed. I was always a limited player, and I prefer that because then the power level is the cards that are in front of you, and that's what really draws me to Magic. I like building with what I own. I don't want to have to so much go out there and buy these cards or spend the wild cards on them. I do spend them on Arena mainly so I can collect more in the long run. But that's why I like the deck building side of things and why I like limited play over constructed play personally. And it's also when you're in the store, you do have that face to face, which is a lot better.
yeah.
And my thoughts and prayers for Magic are not for the survival of the game, because I'm pretty sure Magic will continue to go on forevermore and make a ton of money for Hasbro, be it both in paper and on Arena. Maybe not MTGO in the future, but both in paper and Arena. But I think the prayer that we need to say is the prayer for the game that we know it as now, as opposed to the game that it will be in the future and that it's turning into now. And that's where I think the prayer needs to be said for it.
So hopefully they right the wrongs. I mean, there's been some questionable things that have happened over the years that it's gotten better after certain stuff happened that we thought was bad. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. I see.
Giving him a chance is always a good thing. It's just, wow, every time you try to give him a chance and there's like, oh, dear, watch how crappy we can go now.
Well, that's like every company. I mean, look at how many chances, people have given companies like Blizzard or EA. I mean, it's they just keep doing shitty things, and yes, eventually they try to do better, but the problem is do they want to be consumer friendly and do what people want, or do they go for where they can make a huge profit? I mean, some companies can do that, like, let's look at CD Projekt Red. Unfortunately, yes, with GOG, they do have some problems, but overall, they're a pretty damn good company, and people like them. Could they make more money if they pandered to their shareholders and, did more? Maybe, but who knows? It's that level of, do you kind of support the consumers, or do you just, make as much money as you can? Which is what, Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast are at this point doing. And we can see that with the projects like the Secret Lairs and the, giving people money for big projects, but projects that they want. Yeah.
Secret Lairs is
Llama!
Yeah.
Goddamn premium product.
Yeah. Really quickly before we end though, Drew said, I wonder how the Transformers TCG is doing. That's a good question. Actually. I want to see how it was doing before the pandemic.
I'm actually part of that community.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
The TCG has actually got a good community going, and it's a lot of Magic players that moved into it. It's got a good community. The development of the cards are good. The power level's good. It's fun and interactive. And they also bring a lot of things from the classic Transformers into it. Yep. So, like, for instance, recently they had a Soundwave versus Blaster deck that they dropped out. And on top of it being the Soundwave versus Blaster current artwork, they went back to retro 1980s Soundwave and Blaster and did a whole deck. And that's actually a valuable one. I think that's worth like almost $100 now because they're really hard to find. They're 30th anniversary specials or 35th anniversary specials, I think. They're doing a movie version right now. And now Transformers has a Netflix series that's coming out that's going to be based on Siege. I'm a big collector of Transformers. So I just got Jetfire for the Siege set. I collect these guys. Picked them up at my local Meijer. I got him on sale for like $45. He's normally like almost $100 Transformer. and they're really, really hard to come by. These are things that I collect and play with. Like that's I'm a huge collector of Transformers, GI Joe, Ninja Turtles, but Transformers is my big one. And the card game itself is epic. Like for instance, I actually have I bought 2 of them. Anytime they come out with pre-made constructed pre-made decks, I buy 2 of them because actually their pre-made constructed decks are valuable. They actually hold a good value, and they don't print those cards at all inside of boosters. Those cards can't be found anywhere. Even the cards that are in the decks, some of the rares and stuff can only be found in there. They've done it right, especially the character cards. And Devastator is it's one of those ones that's actually, I think, a test product for Magic that maybe eventually they're going to move that to, is where you have the cards that butterfly open.
Nice.
They're pretty cool. They're actually, and their card quality is from an American made. It's all American made, and it's actually really good card stock. Really good card stock. I've got Transformer cards that have been sitting out for a year, and they have not bent.
I'm gonna be a dick. It's Kaijudo.
It's better than Kaijudo, but I do have Kaijudo collections. But the problem is the printer that was for Kaijudo is the same printer that was around Amonkhet and stuff, and the Kaijudo cards bend and warp like Pringles, and that's, you can tell that whoever they had for the printer for Kaijudo was the same one that they were using for Magic cards at that time.
Card quality, Pringles. Who doesn't love it? Who doesn't?
I
love it?
like Pringles. I just don't like my cards being Pringles.
Ooh, Pringles sound
You
delicious.
bring up Pringles, and it reminds me of someone posting online on Twitter there. I think it was yesterday. They received 3 promo packs from Wizards
Fuck.
for their replacement Secret Lair product, because Secret Lair products can't be reprinted.
Right. So, right. They had they had one that had something wrong with it. I'm not sure what it was. And basically, Wizards of the Coast sent them a letter and sent them 3 special promo packs and said, here's your replacement product. Because there's only one wave. They don't reprint them. So they don't have any more, which is stupid, first of all. Why would you make a product not have backups for problems like that?
What made me laugh with that, too, is the fact that, here, have 3 promo packs from sets that are actually sell on eBay for $5 a pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much did they pay? Here's my question about that situation. How much did they pay for the Secret Lair? Was it?
I think it was probably I think they probably bought one of the $30 or $50 ones.
Yeah, it was one of the $50 ones.
Okay.
From what I remember.
So they got exactly $25 in value back. That's outrageous.
They better have refunded them.
They should have been like, hey, we have these other ones that are available. Because of the inconvenience, we'll send you one of these ones that we still haven't sold a lot of. We're going to send you that. Plus, we're going to send you 3 to 5 additional promo packs. And here, have some extra old school FNM promos that we no longer put out, but we have a crap ton of them.
Yeah,
they could have done something really nice to make this client happy.
I don't remember what packs they were, but they were just random promo packs. So
one was Theros, one was an Ixalan one, I think. And
one was Eldraine, one was Theros, and I've got it here.
I mean, at least they're recent ones, right?
2 Theros Beyond Death. One was a premium promo pack. The other one was a promo pack, and 1 Throne of Eldraine normal promo.
So the premium promo probably sells for $20.
Which set?
Maybe 20 on eBay.
I'll check
Theros.
right now.
Theros is not doing that well.
No. Theros is garbage.
Theros has got good cards in it too. It's actually a pretty flavorful set if they'd actually freaking developed some flavor for it. If they'd given us a storyline with it, I would have been more excited. But they would rather push the Ikoria.
Yeah, there's no excitement over Theros.
I wanted to see I wanted the storyline for how Elspeth escaped. I have been waiting since Theros 1 for that to happen.
Yeah, but they never tell you how people escape. Look at Soren out of the stone.
No, they don't even tell. He just got out. How did he get out? He just got out. He just got out. He's all powerful.
Yeah,
he's a really old planeswalker. He's outside of the mending.
When you get rid of all your riders, that's what happens.
Yeah,
it is what happens. But all right, how about we, start wrapping up? How about we go through who is here, where you can find everyone? Cinder.
Yes.
Go.
Okay.
Attack.
You can find me at the link in the chat. Do look over there. I think I'm going to be playing some Bloodstain tonight, as there was a big update that came out with a new playable character.
Yep.
So that's really neat. I do a lot of Magic the Gathering over there. I talk about the standard, meta, and arena in particular. And yeah, just go over there, sub to the channel, and I'll see you next time.
Definitely. King's Night.
All right, you guys can find me at that link in the chat, which is my YouTube channel, which is Playing Discord. Actually, go by that. As you guys can see, this is my new avatar.
I like it.
Thank you. And I do a lot of Minecraft stuff. I've been kind of lazy. I'll admit. I actually am currently writing out and developing guide reviews for both Theros as well as Ikoria. So they're full-on set reviews that I'm working on and developing at the moment. I'm going to be doing some other additional videos in regards to the coverage of the mechanics of Ikoria and my issues with each of the mechanics that they've come out with. Well, I don't have any issues with cycling. I've always loved that. It's been a great mechanic. But in regards to mutating as well as the companion, I'm going to talk about my praises and my hatreds for both of those. Hopefully I should have my companion one out sometime around Saturday, if not Sunday at the latest. Aside from that, I will be doing most of my live streams on there, and whenever I drop a video, the goal is to live stream an hour after that is dropped on YouTube, as well as dualcast to Twitch.
Awesome. Mr. Eric Undying, MTG, the dead undying.
The dead undying dead.
He's no longer dead. He's just undying.
Yeah.
Undying just has Kim Jong Un in his basement.
He just got a plus one
Oh
right.
boy. Oh boy. The real one or the clone? Okay, continue.
Oh no. Eric's still out on that. But I will say, like, in all honesty, I have to do some rebranding. So the only place you're going to really find me is pretty much here for the time being, for the foreseeable future, until I can get some stuff redone. Yeah, that's really about it.
Wow,
I mean,
how lame. You don't have like a Twitter or Discord you want people to
I
join?
got the
or-
Twitter, but I mean, does it matter? I mean, it's.
Aw,
You can
you're
screen
just
at him on
You
Twitter.
know what I'm saying?
You're
Like,
just
it's
no
pretty-
damn fun, guys. Soon we're going to be announcing some projects we have with Eric. He's
Yeah.
going to be coming on a secret project that we haven't really talked about yet. I haven't advertised yet, but that will be coming soon, and you will see
And
him
I
around more.
I can promise you this:
Oh gosh.
there's going to be a lot of laughs, and there will be a lot of people pissed off. But it's okay. The ones that are pissed off are the sensitive Sallies I really don't care about.
We love sensitive people. We love when people get sensitive. We
I don't
love
like
dislike bombs.
No,
We love triggering
but
people.
I guarantee you guys will all laugh your asses off.
I'm
If
gonna
you
make
guys
some
don't laugh,
merchandise for
I
Mr.
have
Undying, and
failed,
the
okay?
T-shirts are gonna say like "triggered." It's gonna be
Uh,
great. I'll make you some merchandise. It's gonna be good.
it'll be fun. It'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Awesome. Grim Monolith.
Oh, hey. So I am the editor for Dark Titan Enterprises. You can find me. I also run the Discord for Dark Titan, so you can find me on the Discord. And I'm always on the podcasts, and I will be over on the new branded channel Dark Titan Gaming with Eric sometimes. So we'll see how that all goes. But you can always find me on the Discord, or if you want to complain about me, you can just tell Vara. She'll
Yeah.
Or you
tell
just
me if
say
you-
it here and
Oh,
say
wait.
Grim sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Grim sucks,
exactly.
guys.
right there.
Leave your personal life out of this.
And
I will. Don't worry, everyone. I will make sure that her videos get put up on time. Because if I don't, I don't even want to know what happens.
Yeah, legitimate. Asfera, who are you? Where can we find you? What are your plans for the future? Doing nothing, eating your life away, and dying alone in the Shire? I mean, what's the plan?
Other than having a heart attack whenever I'm not.
Oh boy.
I think I
That's-
spend more time in Minecraft than I do anywhere else right now. But
He
that
needs to start doing it live streaming.
He
huh?
does.
You need to start streaming it, dude.
So we need to talk about this.
Or you need to start doing videos on it.
Yeah,
Your builds are insane right now.
Dude, you should see it right now. What I'm working on. These circles are making me trip.
All
Oh
of
my
us
God.
have to go in Minecraft, and we have to travel from the Shire to Mordor on the Lord of the Rings maps. We've got to do that one day. It's like 4 hours long.
Oh, it's
That's
longer than
not-
that. I'm playing through that whole map right now.
We're
and
gonna
it's
do
insanity.
it.
Well, they're still updated. That's live. That's being live updated. So not everything in the books is in there yet.
Well,
but it's
the
being
path
added
from
in
the Shire to
slowly. It's
Mordor is
crazy.
completely done.
They don't even have Isildur completely completed. They just have the first ring of a wall. They don't have the castles built in there, and that's what they're working on right now for the next development update. It's insane. This map is obscenely crazy.
Yeah. Anyway,
So-
sorry to interrupt, Asfar. Who are you? What are your
fine.
plans? Tell us.
So my name is Asfera, aka Rob. I am an LGS owner currently without a store and without a DCI number or without Wizard support because Wizards decided to send me a nondescript email telling me to go fuck myself in the middle of the night with a chainsaw. And some sandpaper while I was at it. That being said, I am working on getting a new store open back up down the line. It will probably be sometime post-pandemic, so probably in the middle of next year. I'm trying to go sooner, but I'm not going to open up before it's safe for my community. I'm not one of those stores that just says, give me more money. You can find me in Vara's Discord. You can find me on Aestheticraft. You can find me in Plain Discord. You can find me in Cinder Shadow Discord. You can basically find me playing on the Aestheticraft Minecraft server if you can get whitelisted. That takes a little bit of effort, and I'm the person to talk to about it. That being said, I do insane Minecraft builds, and at some point, I will pull my head out of my ass and actually.
Your ass builds insane right now. Dude, my first video for season 1, or for my season 1 on the Aestheticraft server, I'm actually working on pre-testing the design right now. I'm going to be building Teleria West on the server. So I have the farm already built and done. Now I have to build Teleria West, and I'll be doing a side-by-side with that in the build of it. It's insane.
I want to do more Minecraft, but I've hit a Minecraft block, so.
Come look at my inspiration. Hey, you can move into my chunk for now, and then just like build little houses and odds and ends.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is do the work for you.
Yes.
No,
Oh, shit.
you couldn't do the work I'm doing right now, so your mind would melt.
Oh my God! Consider if you saw what he's building right now, your brain would blow up. Mine almost
probably
did.
would.
All right,
Okay,
you guys.
Vera, I think you need to make that a shirt. Just
Yeah.
wasting away on the Shire, eating my life away, or something like that.
Yeah. We need to figure out something for us.
I am totally in hosting that. By the way, I can host that server. I'd
Oh my
be
God,
happy.
fat hobbits.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun.
I mean, I would say most of you guys here are hobbits. Unfortunately, I don't know what I'd be. I guess I'd be probably a freaking elf.
The options that are in there are pretty cool. It's actually a really cool mod.
Yeah.
I have to give them credit. They've been doing a good job balancing it.
Good night, everyone, I guess.
All right. So I guess that is the
one last
end
thing.
of
Congratulations, Vera, for reaching over 25,000 subs now.
Thank you.
26 and a half.
Congratulations.
Dang! What the hell? Last time I saw 23, you're just cruising.
I appreciate it. Over the past 2 months, I have gained about 6,000 subscribers, roughly.
That's crazy.
The past month and a half, 2 months, mainly due to the Susie Lou drama, being threatened and hacked, and then that whole situation, and also over the Naughty Dog situation.
Wait, you got threatened at
Resident Evil.
Yeah, so I guess I'll tell you really quickly. I put up a video on it. Basically, I had put up 2 videos on Susie Lou criticizing, her content a little bit and what she was doing and abusing copyright laws on YouTube. And so one of her fans sent me a threatening email saying if I don't take down my videos or delete them, bad shit was going to happen to my channel. And 12 hours later, someone hacked into my web hosting account and charged over $1,000 to it. It's fun. So fun.
Spoken like a true content creator, they don't do stuff. No. In fact, they disavow secretly in the back rooms of their Discord. I can't believe this person picked on me. Will somebody defend me? Oh wait, that's not allowed.
People are allowed to be
if you saw
offended
what's
by
going on in
things,
her-
but
her
there
Discord
comes a
and stuff.
time where something is blown way out of proportion, and just because I criticize someone doesn't mean I think that I deserve to be hacked, but that's okay. It is what it is. The situation is handled.
Have that expectation.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I totally am siding with you on this one. I am livid, but there's not much I could do because anything I could do would land me in federal prison.
Agreed.
Ooh. Hot way to end the stream. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight. I do appreciate it. If you are not already part of our Discord server, please make sure to join it. We are very active there. I will link it in chat for all of you. If you want to support the channel, please consider becoming a Dark Titan for just $1 via Patreon. And I think that is it. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a fantastic night, everyone.
Peace, everybody.
Bye.
See you later.